You ever have one of those weeks where you think, no way this is actually happening to me, but it just keeps happening, like a sitcom with the laugh track yanked out? Yeah, that was me. Except it was less laugh track, more grinding teeth. My name's Kyle Traz, and recently, I found myself squaring off with an HOA president who figured my legally deeded parking spot was the perfect present for her son and his lipstick red Porsche. And you know what she told me when I called her on it? He's allowed, he's my son. Yeah, that happened. Buckle up, because this story's got everything. A petty war, secret cameras, a 10-year-old grudge, and the most cinematic ending I've ever lived through. This all started on a regular Monday, 7 in the morning, me just wanting to head out in my big, honest Ford. Nothing fancy, just a truck that gets the job done. I head down to the garage, and bam, my spot's occupied by a car so red and shiny it practically glows in the dark. Spot 27, right by the elevator, deeded and everything. And there's this Porsche sitting in it like it's the king of the castle. At first, I figure, hey, maybe someone's new or confused, so I park my truck in the guest area, hike the football field's distance back, and get on with my day. I'm an optimist. Or I was. Tuesday, same story. But this time, I catch the culprit. Fred, maybe 20, slick hair, that permanent rich kid smirk. He tosses his keys, struts off like he owns the place. I leave a note, polite, even draw a smiley face. Next morning, note's gone, Porsche's there, my truck's still out in Siberia. Now I'm starting to see red myself. So Wednesday, I catch Fred by the elevator. Hey, I say, calm as I can manage. I think you missed my note. He barely looks at me. Just says, my mom said I could park here. Like that's the law. His mom, by the way, is Karen Anthony, president of the HOA and, apparently, queen of the universe. I try to keep it civil. Deed says it's mine, man. He shrugs, tells me to talk to his mom, and walks off like I'm not even worth the exhaust fumes. That night, I tell my wife Jill, she's the cool-headed one, thank God. She pulls out her legal pad, lays down ground rules. No yelling, no slashing tires, no fistfights in the garage. Not gonna lie, that took most of my ideas off the table. But Jill's right. We're going to do this by the book, so we start pulling receipts, scanning the bylaws. Everything's in our favor, on paper. But enforcing it? That's the tricky part. Thursday, I leave my truck in the garage and take the bus, just to see what happens. When I get back, my truck's in guest parking again. They're not just parking in my spot, they're moving my truck. I had a valet key hidden under the wheel well, and apparently, the Anthony family's been playing Easter egg hunt. Now it's not just disrespect, it's trespassing. Jill's not amused. That's a line, she says, her voice icy. We need proof. So we set up a camera in our window, another hidden by the storage locker, pointed right at spot 27. Every morning, here comes Fred, parks the car, walks away. Then George Anthony, Karen's husband, comes down, snags the valet key, moves my truck like he's running a pit crew. We get it all on video, clear as day. Jill drafts a certified letter, legalese, bylaws quoted, the works, and mails it to both Karen and George. Then we go big. 2 metal signs, red letters, private property, deed parking, unauthorized vehicles will be towed. Bolted them right in front of the spot. It's a billboard nobody could miss. Next morning, the Porsche's back, signs and all. Fred gives me that little smirk, like my efforts are just a fun obstacle course for him. But this time, I don't leave. I call PRC Towing. Got Dave on the line, gruff, but impressed that I have my paperwork in order. 20 minutes later, big flatbed rumbles into the garage. Jill's filming. I'm standing back, letting the pros handle it. When Fred comes down and sees his Porsche getting loaded onto the truck, the kid's face goes through every stage of grief in under 2 seconds. He's shouting, threatening, gets in my face, actually shoves me. For a second, I see red. I grab his shirt, and then the tow driver, big guy, not paid enough for this drama, steps between us. Enough, he says, like a referee in the world's saddest wrestling match. And right then, the elevator opens and the Anthony family storms in. Karen screeching about her authority, George glaring, Fred sputtering. Dave, the tow guy, just hands me a receipt and drives off with the Porsche. So calm you'd think he does this every day, he probably does. That was the first victory, but as Karen threatened me right there in the garage, I knew this was only round 1. Now, here's where the twist lands. At the next HOA meeting, Karen's ready for war. She accuses me of violating signage rules, creating a hostile environment, harassing her family. It's a regular soap opera. But Jill, cool as ice, stands up, binder in hand, and reads directly from the bylaws. I back her up, photos, receipts, video stills, the works. Karen tries to turn the room against us, but the evidence is ironclad. And then out of nowhere, she drops the bomb. You ruined my husband's career. You took everything from us. I'm stunned. Turns out, a decade ago, as a safety inspector, I'd written a report that got George fired from a construction site after he ignored basic safety rules. Months later, he was hurt on a different job, lost his pension, and the Anthonys blame me for it all. Suddenly, this isn't about a parking spot or even a car. It's about revenge that's been simmering for 10 years. From then on, Karen goes full petty dictator, violation stickers on my truck, complaints about Jill's wreath, mystery attacks on our plants. We document it all, filling up a digital Karen folder. Every little thing. Jill's got it on video or in writing. We start playing her game, but smarter, like turning on the sprinklers during her solidarity rallies, or leaf blowing right at 8:01 a.m., loud enough to wake the dead, or at least the Anthonys. The war's exhausting, but sometimes darkly funny. You know what I mean? But eventually, the pettiness gets old. Then, she escalates. The HOA hires a lawyer, sends a cease and desist accusing me of noise harassment. I'm done. The real leverage is that red Porsche, still racking up impound fees. I call the tow company. After 30 days unpaid, they can auction it off. We start researching auction laws, blue book values, the works. And I get this wild idea, what if we buy it? Not to flaunt, just because. For the principle. Auction day rolls around. It's a spectacle. Karen's got a proxy bidder, determined to get the car back. The bidding soars, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Finally, at $60,000, it's down to Karen's guy and me. One last bid, $60,050. Silence. The hammer falls. It's mine. The look on Karen's face, pure shock and hatred, like I'd just pulled off the ultimate heist. Now, what do you do with a Porsche you don't even want? Here's where I finally make my peace. I donate the guts of it to a local vocational school for mechanics. Let some kids get their hands greasy and learn something useful. The shell? I take it to the scrapyard myself and watch the crusher turn that arrogant red Porsche into a cube the size of a laundry basket. Karen sees it happen. She's hysterical, screams at me, calls me a monster. But by then, all my anger's gone. I didn't kill it. I tell her. Choices did. And just like that, it was over. The Anthonys moved out a month later. A new family moved in. Nobody parks in the wrong spot. Nobody posts petty violations. Bill, the neighbor, became the new HOA president, and the drama finally died down. You want to know if I regret any of it? Legally, I did everything by the book. But I'll be honest, sometimes I wonder if I went too far. Was it justice or just my own version of petty revenge? I don't know. Maybe it's both. All I know is the war ended with my truck parked in spot 27 and peace, or something like it, restored. But I'm not spotless. Neither is anybody in this story. Maybe nobody ever is. So now it's your turn. Was I right? Was Karen a monster or just another person broken by life's unfairness? Where's the line between standing your ground and sinking to someone else's level? Let me know down below. I'll be reading every word. And hey, if you've ever tangled with an HOA or just got a story about neighborhood drama, you know what to do. Hit like, subscribe, and tell me, what would you have done in my shoes?